I can tell you since I've moved to Edinburgh, 3 years now, maybe in a house setting, this is going to be maybe the fourth house that I will enter. Like, so I do. I appreciate small fellowship. So I just say I should say that to say I really enjoy being in your midst. Alright. As I said in my introduction, my name is Samson Olukayode Oluwaremi, also known as Sake. So that's my ministry name, like to walk on, you know. I love young people. I love young people. I love kids. That's, I think, if you take, and I know that when I stopped doing that for 2 years, I went through a lot of so many things, even physical health. I was growing old fast. I'm not going to say my age, but I know that when I plugged in to the purpose of God in my life, regardless of what fashion that I'm doing it, right? Energy just kicked in. So I said to God, till the last breath, if I stay breathing, I will continue to be a blessing to this generation, to the young people. Yeah. Well, Sammy and Fola Foundation is a foundation that we look into 3 categories. You'll find that in this most of our material we don't use orphanage. I don't believe in orphanage. God will say, "Whoa, so what are you talking about?" I believe in homes. We set up homes. Sammy and Fola Foundation is a non-governmental developmental institution, and when I say institution, it means like a school, a place where you develop not the children, not institution, not an institution for the children, but for the adult, for the workers themselves, where they gain knowledge how to interact with young people. So we talk about that. The first and foremost, our workers, our volunteers. That's number one. But for the children, it's not an institution. It's not an orphanage, but it's a home. It's a home setting. So it's a home setting for our children. It's an institution for our workers, for our volunteers. And we are part of the community. So we are not living in isolation. So Sammy and Fola Foundation is within the community. We are operating in Oyo State at the moment in Ibadan. Now, the other thing, the third aspect of what we do is that we are a resource center. Yeah, we are a resource center. That is, don't worry about that. We are a resource center. What do I mean about that? It's like when you have a hose of water, you know, we carry resources. I do a lot of training for other homes. Their workers. People don't understand. What you don't have, you can't give. People don't even understand. Some of the workers, some people are sincere. You know, sincerity is different, right? You can be sincerely wrong.
Yes.
Right? People, they are working with young people in Nigeria, sorry to say Nigeria, in developing country, in most African country, but because they are not being well trained, they don't understand what child abuse is all about. They don't know the cross line between disciplining a child and abusing a child. So one of our major role and responsibility in the community is to try as much as possible to to train workers to make sure that, look, what you're doing, this is the right way of doing it, and we supply resources, human resources, material. We personally volunteer to work with some few homes in Nigeria where I will just come in as a volunteer. They don't know what that, so I mingle and I start seeing how they're doing things, and we start correcting things from the back. So that's another thing we do. Now, our vision is to enhance standard of living for vulnerable family. I say family, children, women, and men. Because you find out that I start campaigning this now. When we talk about empowerment, what comes out, our women will say women empowerment. But I always say, look, it's supposed to be family empowerment. The anointing flow from the top, yeah? If you empower a woman and the man is lacking, you don't encourage the man, you don't empower the man. And unfortunately, most of the people that we've interacted with in Nigeria, some of these young guys, they are in my area in Southwest, we call them the Orisa boys or things like that. They are the most tender-hearted people I've ever seen. When you meet with them one-on-one, what happened? They never grew up with a father. They never grew up in a very settled home. They're underprivileged, so they don't even have it. So they are struggling. So they find themselves married to a woman. The only thing their language is either the bash and violent and saying. But when you start talking to them and mentoring, so that's one of the things that we are looking for, men like you, that you mentor some of these young men, some of these people. They are lovely people. I have at least 3-4 people that I'm mentoring now: bricklayer, mechanic, downfall driver. Those are the people that I'm hanging around with now that say, look, what can we do? And from there, when you mentor such people, and the aspect of the women, we support the women, you see that we are building a family. We are building a family, because what I found out in the recent, my own study, is that when we talk about empowerment, women empowerment, when you empower that woman, they've gone up. Somebody was saying brainwash the other time. Mentioned. Sorry to use this word. It seems like when women are very, they're very smart. They're very, when you say they grab things very fast, they're ready to adapt quickly. But our nature as a man, we set in our own way, our ego. There's a lot of things but women are very flexible. Very flexible, both psychological, even their emotion. They can do. So when you engage women in the society, they will bring it home, front home, but they don't know how to deal with their husband. It becomes a friction. And the man, that when we don't work with the man, when we don't, the only language some of these men like, you don't raise your voice. I'm the man. I'm the head of this house. And either Christian, Muslim, whatsoever. We are not talking about religion. No. We are talking about home. So that is what really pushes us to say, you know what? Empowerment is for everybody. Empowerment is for everybody. We need to work with our men. We need to work with our women. So we're not setting wife against their husband. We are working. We want to make sure that they have a robust, a family life, a quality life relationship. So that is one of our what we do.
Okay. Now I'm not cutting you short. I want us to get as much as possible information from you. I'll give room for questions.
Oh, yeah.
So that people will really know directly what they want to do. But just to chip in, because of what you said, I've seen a situation where in a church, a daughter was told that her mother was the one responsible for her inability to progress in life. And that daughter took her mother, naked her on the street, and beat the hell out of her. I believe some of us have seen this thing. So this is what, because you mentioned either Muslim or Christian, so religion can be used even against us, even against family. So we are trying to build family. So I don't know if some people have questions to chip in so that you will go straight to what we want to know about what he said.
And these are the type of things that we're talking about, what you just said, because I know people don't ask why, we tend to say what, woo. But why is the most important things in our life. We have to reflect, we have to question things.
Questions, yeah.
We have to ask a question, and in our background, or where we come from, the things that somebody is doing us is your husband, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your this, your that. So we have to, but we don't look into ourselves that, okay, I was listening to a program talking about hard work, and the Bible actually told us, it's plain, but watch and pray. But so many of us, we close our eyes and keep praying till the kingdom comes. And when the Bible actually says, wash and pray, show me your work and I will show you what? My deed. You said, so we cannot, so what you said now is a very sad story, because the Bible said we should honor our parents. So does that girl from that church, what have we achieved? Are we trained?
Home. We not use church to destroy a home.
Home, yes. So that's right. So that's not empowerment. Any message that we receive that does not building and is tearing down is from the pit of hell. Yep. So for the young people, children, some of these children, they're from Plateau State, Bauchi, Edo, Akwa Ibom, Lagos. So I love it when I see my children. I call them my children. I still spoke to them yesterday. Yeah, when I see them, we have 20 altogether. Wow. 12 actually. Anything that you see on that material, there's some cut and paste material around all over the world when you're talking about homes. These are real people. These are because of the data protection I might not give you, but when you come down to that side of the world, Africa, Nigeria, Southwest, Ibadan, you can come and visit. These are real people. These are real children. They are not a Facebook kid. They are not a what's it called? RNG. So those children. To God be the glory for the past going to 3 years now, actually 4, because we first placed them to a home before we get our own settlement. So 12, 6 boys and 6 girls, and we have 6 workers. I believe very strongly, I say, is a home. Look at any average family, mother, father, 3 kids, 4 kids, that's what we have. So at any particular time, you can be rest assured that at least 2 adults will be with them at any particular time. To God be the glory. They go to school, where accommodation-wise, feeding, schooling. We don't send them to most expensive private school. Neither they go to a public school. Why do people ask me why don't I send them to public school? It's just that it's very, very saddening. Yes. And this is the next project that we want to start doing now. Because if you come a child where I cannot send my own biological children, I won't send them. That's my first, all right? Secondly, we need to set an environment. We're talking about transformation here, and they are in their formative stage. What you expose them to is very, very important. if I might ask, most of us, if not because of
yes,
please stop me.
You can chip in.
Yeah, please stop me at any point. Most of us ended up in Western world because of what? It's not because of what we want to eat or what we want to. It's because of our children. It's because of our children, to give them a better education, to give them a better exposure.
Is that true about you? Huh? I say, is that true about you? You say we located to Western world because of our children mostly.
Yeah, it might not completely be true, but yeah, I think that's the main reason why we are staying back. I have to let you know that. So because if it's like at this point going home and establish for myself, it's okay. I can take up from home. Yeah. I should be okay with what I have made so far. But why I'm still staying back is because of those kids until they get their independence. Then I can still go back.
Yes.
It's for just concurring with what you
said.
Because I had a conversation with him some times back, so he's just agreeing.
You say because I mainly at least 70% of most people what is because of mostly,
if not more.
If not more. Okay. So now.
Sorry, sir, I'm chipping. This account number you have, is it for the foundation?
It's for the foundation.
So if somebody wants to support, you can just send the account to this GTB account.
GTB account number, yes.
Again, why I think it's important, as he is doing, we can all do this kind of thing. Because what makes me so dear to what we are saying is we are here. And the thing is running
back home. Yeah.
I have an empty house in Nigeria.
Yeah.
About 10 rooms.
Really?
Empty. With only few people. So once he spoke to me, I said, what? Yeah. This is something we can do.
One of the things that we're about to start up in 2019, by God's grace, things like that. Anybody who wants to set up things like this, we can actually help you to do it. Train the staff, and God has been so good to this organization. For the past 3 years, we've not lost any staff. So that means that we're looking after them. You'll remember that I said that one of our aims is to empower people. You know why people steal, mainly in Nigeria? Steal kids' food. Oh yeah, when you do this type of a thing, people steal food, they steal clothing, they abuse the kids. One, lack of training. Two, you don't pay the staff very good money. Number three, the way you relate to them. Now, our administrator, she came in 3-4 years ago. She's finishing her master's in social service, social work in UI right now. One of our caregiver, she's from Akwa Ibom. She did a WAEC. We interviewed her. We have a training plan for all our staff. She has just finished her WAEC. She has done a JAM. She's going to Polytechnic next September. Another a woman, an elderly woman, we asked her. One of the things that we did, she has a medical issue. We gave her 2 months off with full pay. Go and look after yourself. If you cannot, the woman was begging after the treatment. She wants to come back.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Being a person that wants to start something like you're doing,
yes.
How do I protect this issue of abuse you mentioned? Make my heart to speak.
Okay.
What are the abuses?
Okay. When we talk about abuse, the first thing that comes to us is the physical abuse or sexual abuse.
Okay.
Those are the ones that are so apparent. But what about verbal abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse? So all those ones, you got to maybe my background being a community and youth developer. I'm a career counselor. I'm a chartered career counselor. So I do from as little as 3-year-old. I can engage a young person and we can get things out. So what we do is that we help to train your staff properly.
Okay.
I tell people when they want to, a foundation of a thing is very, very important. If you want to build a bungalow, right, you don't need to dig deep. If you are building a skyscraper, oh, thank you, sir. The architect.
Yeah.
What is the, is it the same there?
No, it's not.
No. So what are we doing? If we are talking about building, right? We are talking about life here, children's life. So we need to find a time. I always tell people, give me 5 months. People said, I said to people, I pay my staff before the children came in. This is being recorded and it can be checked for 18 months, going to 2 years. That I was working with my staff, just working with them, taking them to homes, training them before my own children 12 comes in, so they know what.
Okay.
So it's proper training, preparation.
Any other question? Because we will go to the second presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
So we all collect your number. Anybody that has question, because I know you have so much to say.
Thank you for how we've explained thus far. It's not easy. I know that it is hard work. I think all of us have tried as much as possible to help back home, even here, as we can, but not necessarily like an organization, because we still feel the need that some people are still suffering at some place. We still know that we are better than some people, no matter how it is when it comes to living. But now the question I want to ask is, number one, what is the scope of this project? That's number one. And number two, what has been your source of funding?
Okay.
Those are two questions. One is the scope, and two is the source of funding you have. How have you been having the source of funding?
Thank you so much. I know that alternate time, anybody that those at least the last question always come. Yeah, I think I will start with the last one. I thought I'm retiring very fast. Like I retire early.
Hi, Solomon.
Hello, sir.
Arrival of the boss.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, say you don't mind to be seen arriving.
It is well.
The pastor has arrived.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna follow. How you doing, sir?
Long time.
That's
Hey,
the building.
Okay.
yeah, the mother and the younger ones they went to space, so she didn't
Okay,
know. Mama,
so you'll be looking for them.
Egbe, what's up?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't interrupt anything.
No. In fact, we tried to use all gimmicks to wait for you before the thing starts.
I'm very sorry.
But it's okay. We'll bring it.
I'm just rushing down because
Yeah.
Okay. The scope of the.
Well, let me just. If Samson is somebody that just joined us, I met him some couple of years. I mean, almost a year.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we reconnected again recently. And he started opening up to me what he's doing. I said, wow, you are just looking like SLM member. Wow, you understand? So he's having a foundation, about 20 children in Nigeria, and he's here in the UK, taking care of them. The first question I asked him is the same question Paul is asking him. How are you funding this thing?
Okay, I'll tell.
So he is just giving us an overview, and then we are giving room to ask him questions, which our brother Paul just asked him a question he's trying to answer.
Okay, the scope of the job, that's number one. One of the things is that we have to be a responsible adult. When you talk about the scope, how many people can I actually, that's the way I look, I would have loved to have this type of in each local government, which is 730 something in each local government. But the scope now is what I can actually manage, right? So the scope is into two parts. We have 12 residential. We have 8 that we are supporting, we are giving educational support to. And we have about 20 widows that we do support every year, and we do a small loan. They think it's a loan, but deep down in us, we set them up, and out of the 20 widows, I think 16 of them are doing very well, right? They are doing very well. And once a year, we come together to celebrate them, just to do, we do twice rather. Back to school, we call it Clothes Drive, and the second one, end of year party. So we can only do what at the moment, what that will lead me to how we, where the money comes. If they, so at the moment, I'm I'm a tent maker. All what I do here, is that I send money from here home. And we have an open policy. If you want to see the account, the way we're running things, I think 2016, right? About 72% of the money is from God and myself. God will just bless me. I put it back into that foundation. Last year, December, it is a little bit much better. It's only 65% from me and God. Well, so whatever I get here, I'm a support coordinator for Windlake Grove. So my wages, when it comes, it goes directly. Those are my immediate responsibility, because the staff, I have to pay 6 staff. They pay the school fees. So, and some of the people, friends, people like you, sometimes they just, occasionally, it's only one person who is giving since last year £10 each month. And I appreciate that lady, just £10 each month. I know that comes regularly. And there's another church who gives, I think, 200 every quarterly. Yeah. So those are the 2 group. But I sit on another company as a director. So my sitting allowance, I said, whatever you want to, when I go, just put it straight into this foundation. So those are the 3 area external where money comes regularly. So, and there's another thing that I would like, just remind me about Tabitha Home. So does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. So if I'm clear, it's like putting a location in Ibadan, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
So when you say God, you actually mean other people. That's your own, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you say God, you actually mean, you actually mean other people that God used to support you.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mean himself.
I mean,
providing for him.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
That's great. We're so encouraged. I believe that we can tap into, because you see, when you see example, you can easily copy.
And so many times, this is a testimony. Many times we think that we must have £10,000, we must have £20,000 before I can start this type of a thing. Believe me, you don't need it. You don't need such. Till today, some government, some states are owing their staff maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Some local, but to God be the glory. This is God. I sleep easily. I don't owe any of my staff one week wages. They get the last time that their wages was so get to them late was on the 3rd of the next month, and due to some technical. So you don't need to, don't think that I must go until I have big money. Just if God is laying upon your heart, you have 3-bedroom house sitting. Before you know it, you see the way God will just be blessing you, creating door for you.
Sorry, sir, I just want to ask a question. Like, how possible is it to set something like here now they have food bank?
Okay.
Like if you want to send that one back home,
Yeah.
food bank where people can come and collect food, maybe like the way they do it here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sister Stella. You will see somewhere community activity. Actually, you will see on the picture 1, 2, 3, the fourth one. The fourth one. Cloth drive and the community activity. That is the food bank. We do that, and in our store, in the home, one of the instructions I gave personally, when you have 2 bags of rice, you can't have 2 bags of rice sitting in the store. I tell my administrator there were nothing less than 10 other homes. When you have immediately you have 2 bags, the next take it to other home and go and give it out. Go and give it out. When money comes in, sometimes, and that's the one I want to talk about, Tabitha. When money comes in, and we know that there's other home, because some other home are struggling. They are not. God has not given their head to be in Scotland or America or whatsoever. Yeah. So we have to be our brother's keeper. Some people send stuff, clothing, and I tell my children at home, this is not for you alone. You only need 4 pairs, 5 pairs. We take the rest, we go and give it to other homes. So twice a year we do food bank. But what you're saying, I'm believing God that we should have a place where people can come and drop food, and where people who are sleeping rough, people who are under the bridge, we can have a. That's the next one that I'm thinking of. Have it like a shower, toilet, proper shower. You know, they just come in the morning, have a shower, and we cook a breakfast and evening, just to have something to eat and change their clothes and things like that. Those are the things that the power, you know, is in the due to finances and some other
in
things.
the offing.
That's right. Yeah.
Has he answered your question?
There's a project that I'm embarking on now. I need to drop it, or please, you will see maybe on my GoFundMe or on my website. I will be trying to. 40 kids about to be 40 children. They are about to be homeless.
Where?
40 in Ibadan. This is not my. Is another home.
Okay.
They are paying roughly over 1.5 million per annum.